U.S. pressures Iran by means of focused on Chinese, UAE organizations. Washington. The United States imposed sanctions on Thursday on Chinese and Emirati businesses and on a community of Iranian companies that help export Iran's petrochemicals, a step which could increase pressure on Tehran to restore the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. The U.S. Treasury branch stated it had imposed penalties on organizations primarily based in Hong Kong, 3 in Iran, and 4 in the United Arab Emirates, in addition to on Chinese citizen Jinfeng Gao and Indian countrywide Mohammad Shahid Ruknuddin Bor. The United States is pursuing the direction of meaningful international relations to acquire a mutual return to compliance with the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Under-Secretary of the Treasury for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence Brian Nelson stated in a declaration, relating to the 2015 nuclear agreement. Under the percent, Iran confined its nuclear program to make it harder for Tehran to acquire a nuclear weapon in exchange for comfort from U.S., European Union and United Nations sanctions that had choked Iran's oil-dependent economic system. Then U.S. President Donald Trump pulled out of the deal in 2018 and restored U.S. sanctions, prompting Iran to start violating the nuclear regulations approximately 12 months later. Talks to revive the settlement have to date failed. Absent a deal, we will preserve to apply our sanctions government to limit exports of petroleum, petroleum products, and petrochemical products from Iran, Nelson said. In Tehran, Iran's deputy foreign minister for monetary diplomacy brushed off the brand new sanctions as ineffective. Our petrochemical industry and its merchandise have lengthy been underneath sanctions, however our income have persisted via various channels and shall continue to achieve this, Mehdi Safari instructed Iranian Nation TV. Henry Rome, deputy head of studies on the Eurasia Group, said the sanctions may additionally goal each to elevate pressure on Iran and to blunt U.S. home critics who argue that U.S. President Joe Biden did not rein in Iran's nuclear software. Washington is likely aiming to elevate the costs for Iran of a persevered no-deal scenario whilst additionally deflecting home and overseas grievance that it is allowing its Iran coverage to go with the flow, Rome stated, saying that any unmarried sanctions motion became not going to alternate wondering in Iran or China absent a broader approach. Indeed, Tehran might also calculate that given the kingdom of the oil marketplace and worldwide inflationary pressures, a concerted, U.S. campaign to crumble Iranian electricity exports to Trump-era ranges isn't inside the cards within the near time period, Rome brought. The nuclear page circa appeared near revival in March, however talks unraveled partially over whether or not Washington might drop the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which controls armed and intelligence forces that Washington accuses of an international terrorist marketing campaign, from the U.S. Foreign Terrorist Organization listing. The Treasury Department named the Hong Kong-based corporations as Keenwell International Limited and Teamford Enterprises Limited and the Iran-based corporations as Fanavran Petrochemical Company, Karg Petrochemical Company Limited and Maroon Petrochemical Company. The Hong Kong-based corporations and Gao could not be right away reached for remark. Karg couldn't be reached for remark late on Thursday, the weekend in Iran, at the same time as Fanavran and Maroon did not right now respond to emails in search of remark. The Treasury indexed the 4 UAE-based corporations as Futuregate Fuel and Petrochemical Trading LLC, GX Shipping FZE, Sky Zone Trading FZE and UChem General Trading FZE. Could not acquire contact information for them to are seeking remark. All assets and pursuits in assets of the firms falling underneath U.S. jurisdiction are blocked and people who address them will also be sanctioned or penalized underneath some circumstances.